And I hear your parents saying they didn't necessarily have the financial capital to invest to bring you to where you are financially, but there are other kinds of capital. And one of those is social capital. And that's about the relationships that surround you. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you had an incredible investment of social capital that was able to get you where you were going. Mm-hmm. And I think that's amazing. I want to give you the chance to say something to them, thank them in your words for the social capital infusion that you were given over those years and what it means to you now.
Yeah, I've spoken to each one of my parents separately as I've matured and grown, and thanked them for creating a space for us to have those conversations. Because each one of my parents, we have a different social conversational style.
That's great.
You know, it is so cool that I've learned so much. Me and my biological mom, we'll argue often, but we'll pick up the phone the next day and we will love each other. You know, me and my dad, we may not talk every single day, but when we do, he's taught me more. There's more grace. And he's just this like cool chalant guy. My other father, he's just very strict, direct, keep it straight to the point kind of guy, right? And my mom, she's that give me the real, and she's just like, all right, cool, great. And I've had uncomfortable conversations that when I tell friends that I've had these conversations with my parents, like, wait, what? You told your mom this? You told your dad this? I'm like, yeah. And it's because of them that we've just all developed a great conversation. There's nothing in my life today that I do not feel comfortable having a conversation with my parents.
I love that.
We can have the hard conversations. We can have the fun conversations. They can tell me how they feel. And I know I'm gonna hear the truth, but at the end of the day, we may get upset with each other periodically, but man, I think we always just come back to the core of who we are.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciate mom, dads of that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. We've had some, I won't embarrass nobody, but we've had some hard conversations.
I love to meet people's parents because I know once I've met their parents, I understand them better. I think that your entire audience is like, oh, okay. Got it. Whether they see your face over there on your dad's face, but I hear the way that you speak in each one of them.
Absolutely.
You can absolutely hear the corporate investment on that.
Yeah.
Another kind of capital that the book talked about was spiritual capital.
Lord.
And I know you come from people of faith.
Oh my gosh.
I'll start with Carolina parents. What was important for you all in terms of spiritual capital? How did you invest in his life in that way?
Jesus.
Well, oh goodness. Oh, well, the one thing I can say, when Anthony moved to North Carolina, we went to church a lot.
I'm still getting therapy.
Not
want you to know.
Not for me.
I'm still getting therapy for that.
I mean, there was Wednesday night, Friday night.
What?
That's regular. Wednesday night Bible study, Friday night choir rehearsal. I don't hear anything strange yet.
No, Saturday, Sunday.
8 o'clock service on Sundays, 11 o'clock, but back in the afternoon.
Wow.
But being able to teach him, you know, he came from a home in California where it was faith-based and they went to church. But Anthony was like, wait a minute, we don't go to church like this, you know, but it was great. And even with that, he wanted to be a part of the church. So then being on the adjutant corps, really being a part of the church and being able to learn and grow, you know. I thought that was great. Just watching him grow spiritually, you know, as a teenager.
For sure.
Still, you know, maybe having his ups and downs, but
but he had that structured space.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to thank my friends over at BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. I want to talk numbers real quick. You see, traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session. That adds up fast. You see, but with BetterHelp online therapy, you can save up to 50% per session while still getting high quality care. You see, with BetterHelp, you pay a flat weekly fee, making therapy more affordable, flexible, and accessible than ever. No more feeling like mental health is a luxury. It's something everyone deserves. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, stress, or just need a space to process life, therapy should fit your budget and your schedule. You see, personally, I turn to therapy to clear my mind, regulate my emotions, and navigate life's ups and downs. You see, and with BetterHelp, getting support is easier than ever. As the world's largest online therapy platform, BetterHelp connects you with over 30,000 licensed therapists and has already helped over 5 million people worldwide. It's convenient too, just a click away. And if your therapist isn't the right fit, you can switch anytime 100% hassle-free. So, your well-being is 100% worth it. I want you to visit betterhelp.com/AO today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/AO. All right, let's get back to today's show.
Train up a child
Come on.
in the way they should go, he or she. So I wanted to make sure that I taught him the proper way. And I made sure that I kept that. I got so many different things I can say that I asked him not to do, but he did it anyway. And to train him, to show him that as a father, if we ask you to do something, you stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a lot of CDs in the house that I asked him not to do. A lot of, it was crazy.
That worldly music.
Worthy music.
Mm-hmm.
And in my house, nothing is off limits.
Mm-hmm.
And every so often I would go and check and see what was going on.
Jesus.
But he had all his tapes, rap music, cursing stuff. I got him, brought him downstairs, put him in the garage, laid him out, and had a hammer next to him. And I asked him, I said, I asked you not to bring this in the house.
So did.
Crush him.
So did.
That's it, because as a father, I asked you not to bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lesson. My last lesson to him was, he was on the adjutant corps.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Saturday. He came to me and said, Dad, can I go out tonight? I said, okay, son, you go out tonight. You cannot add tomorrow.
Come on. We're not doing the club on Saturday, church on Sunday. Not over there.
I wasn't brought up that way in the spiritual realm.
I hear you.
And you can be with the pastor, and the pastor got to preach. So he went out. That Sunday morning, we got in the car. I said, remember, son, you're not adjutant today. So we get to church. I go upstairs and do something. I came downstairs, Anthony in the pastor's office. I looked at him. I said, what you doing in here? He said, Dad, I'm on duty. I said, what did I tell you? Get out. And we'll discuss this at home. The pastor looked at me. I looked at him. I said, that's my son. I'll reach my father.
Wow.
So that is one of the spiritual things that I believed in, and I was firm in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just don't believe in you can go out and hang out and be around the man of God like that. If you're going to be an armor bearer,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be spiritually grounded. Because you're supposed to be praying and pushing, seeking with him. So that's one of the spiritual things that I want to make sure I show him.
Mm-hmm.
And even today, I still believe in it, but it's not like that today. But I still believe in that.
Yeah.
You need to be firm when you're around your leaders.
Yeah. Oh, I love that what you were saying and both of you were showing is what happens in the spiritual realm, the invisible realm, actually impacts our everyday lives.
Right.
And too often that's left kind of outside, and we can shape our spirituality to match our lives. But you're saying this is where reality starts, and then it should affect how we live our daily lives.
Correct.
And so that's an incredible investment. I know that Jesus lived in Cali as well. And so
he still does.
foundationally, what was that investment like for you all in terms of how you raised Anthony?
Pretty much the same, maybe not as strict, because we did go to church all the time. We was in church all the time. But secular music was okay for them to listen to, because if they didn't get it at my home, then they was going to get it, right? John and I were very clear on, we don't need the cursing and all of that, but it was okay for the secular music to be in in our home. But yeah, he was in church a lot and involved in a lot. So that part of the transition was, I'm sure, very familiar to him. And Anthony brought up that scripture, train up a child in the way he should go. And if you notice in scripture, there's a comma there.
For sure.
And I often talk about that comma because at one point in my life, anybody who knows Ann knows that my 3 children means the world to me.
Sure.
But my 2 boys gave us hell. And in that scripture where that comma is, I felt like John and I were stuck at the comma. And we just travailed. We just prayed. We just tarried. And it was like it never was going to let up. But then on the other side of that comma,
Come on.
on the other side of it, it says, and when they are old.
When they're old.
Yeah. And so that is what we're seeing today
Exactly.
in this boy, in this man.